Hi everyone, I just wanted to give you an encouraging word today. I've been going through this book of Genesis, but I've been specifically studying the life of Joseph, and I'm learning a lot through this study so far, and I've only been studying it for a couple weeks now, and one of the things that I've really been focusing on is just how faithful Joseph is to God throughout his journey during his circumstances, and how he is how God follows him everywhere he is going, no matter where it is, and how that is shown. And I just think that is really amazing how God is always with him, just like he is always with us. And I wanted to talk about how, Joseph, he was Jacob's favorite. And this comes from, favoritism seems to be in line with this family as far as, Jacob was Rebecca's favorite, and Isaac was Abraham's favorite. So, there's a line of favoritism in this family, and it's bound to create jealousy like it did with Joseph, and which led his brothers to sell him into slavery. But what is interesting is when I've been studying this, it had me go back to the promise that God had given Abraham, and how Abraham was promised the land of Canaan. But it also, if you read in further, it talks about how that they are going to be, for so many years, be into slavery as well, an exile into slavery. And I just thought that was interesting, and how Joseph is sold into slavery, and then the story unfolds with Joseph. So I just find that interesting, and I was like, oh, wow. When like a little light bulb goes off in your head, and you're like, oh, I see the connection now. Anyway, so as I'm studying this, most people would think, wow, this is not like a blessing or anything, but the Lord went with Joseph during this time, and he was with him, and it was known, because it talks about in Scripture how when Joseph was with Potiphar, he was blessed in everything he did, and he was successful, and the Lord was with him, and that Potiphar saw this. And I was just thinking how that's how we should be as well, everything we should do, people should see that the Lord is with us, and how we should, everything we do should reflect Jesus, and how we should be like Joseph in this instant, how, he was so faithful that it was shown, and that's how people should look at us, is how they should see our faith in our everyday actions, our words, and everything that we do. And one of the things that has stood out to me so far, and something that Kelly Minter has told me there in one of her videos throughout this study, is that God can create a path of blessing even out of the most depraved circumstances. And I just that is so true, because look at Joseph. He was the head of the household with Potiphar, and he was blessed during this time and all that he got to do. And even though at first it seemed like, wow, I'm being sold into slavery and stuff, and I think back of circumstances I've been through, and how at first I thought, oh, this is going to be awful, but then God really blessed me through those trying times, and I had more blessings through those trying times because I leaned on the Lord during those times. And another point that she makes is that that the presence of God changes everything in our life, and how just that you know, feeling the presence of God, it just really changes everything, and how, you know, people will notice, just like Potiphar noticed that God was with Joseph. Certain blessings can only come in the midst of suffering, and that is true too. There's blessings that my family has received that otherwise I don't think we would have received if we wouldn't have been going through certain circumstances. And I find that interesting how God blesses us during those times, and that's when you see the most blessings. And I don't know if that's because that's when we lean on the Lord the most, or what that is. But and the next point she says is like, God's blessing on our lives will spill onto those we think He is least likely to bless. And I've seen this over and over. God uses people that sometimes we think that we're really shocked that He uses. Like, there's times that God has used me and I'm like, I can't believe He's chosen me for this. Or, you know, look at Moses, or in the Bible, or people that didn't think they were equipped to be able to do the job that God has called them to do. And I just think that is really interesting how God uses people. He can use anyone to fulfill His purpose. And the last point she made was that the God of promise is better than the land of promise. And this is speaking of the promise that that was made between Abraham and God, and how promises from God are far better than the promises, the land of promise. And just how it was better to be with God in Egypt than with Him in Canaan during this time, because that was the purpose for Joseph during this time, and what was going to unfold after this. And I just wanted to encourage you that even though right now things seem like blah kind of, and how, you know, we're all quarantined and we can't do the things that we normally like to do, but there is hope, and God is going to bless us through this time if you stay faithful, if you're in the Word, if you're in prayer, if you're doing what God has called you to do. You're going to see the blessings unfold from this, just like Joseph seen the blessings unfold from his sufferings that he endured during this time. Anyway, I wanted to share this with you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And let me know what you think. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment, and I hope to see what you all think. Thanks.